Hello everyone, I'm Emily Rose. Welcome to my channel. So welcome to all the books I read in 2023. I made a 6-month check-in, I think, through the year. So some of these books I'm not going to go fully in depth of what I thought or anything. So let's get started. So in February of 2023, I finished Burn by Helen Hart, which is in the Steel Brothers series, which this is number 5. Okay, so Burn by Helen Hart is a dark mystery and spicy romance. It is about 3 brothers that live in Colorado, and so they have like this big huge ranch, and then it goes to where they all find, like, I want to say it's gonna go where they find like all their women and stuff like that in like each of them's stories. So you start out as with Talon and Jade, and then you go with Jonah and Melanie, and then in the second part. So I will say I love this series so far. Of course, I've been going through, I think there's like 30 books I've heard, but I love this series, so I gave this a 5 stars. Okay, so book 2, I finished this in April of 2023, and that is After We Fell, which is the After series, which are also movies. I don't know if you've heard of them, seen them, read the books, but this is the 3rd one in the series. And okay, and then After by Anna Todd is a fiction novel. It is about Tessa and Hardin's relationship, which was actually a Wattpad story by Anna Todd, which I want to say it was like a Harry Styles fan fiction that she wound up putting it into a book and then making movies. I gave this one a 5 stars too because I love this series and like the build up, and the books are way better than the movies though. But even though I do like the movies, I do like the characters that they picked in the movies, but this is just, I like the storyline that continues in the books. Book 3, I finished this in May of 2023, and it's This Day, which is the 2nd book in the 365 Days series. And then This Day by Blanka Lipinska is also a fiction novel, and I also gave this a 5 star. If you don't know, it's about Laura and Massimo. There's 3 movies on Netflix that go with the books. I will say there's just a little bit, maybe just a little bit more in depth in the book than in the movie, which I think some of that they should have put into the movie, but it is a good series. Okay, so book number 4 I ended in June of 2023, which is The Girl on the Train. This is a fiction novel, and it's about every day is the same. Like, the girl rides the train in London, I think it is, it's based, and so it's almost has like a little bit of mystery, and like Rachel takes the same commuter train every morning and night. Every day she rattles down the track, flashes past a stretch of cozy suburban homes, and stops at the signal that allows her to daily watch the same couple breakfasting on their deck. She's even started to feel like she knows them. Jess and Jason, she calls them. Their life as she sees it is perfect, not unlike the life she recently lost. Until today, and then she sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Now everything's changed. Unable to keep it to herself, Rachel goes to the police, but is she really as unreliable as they say? Soon she is deeply entangled not only in the investigation but in the lives of everyone involved. Has she done more harm than good? This is also a movie, which is an older book, older movie, but it is good. I will say it took me a little while, like about the first half was just kind of boring, but I like pushed myself. I did not want to give up on the book, The last half is really, really exciting, I would say, reading it and even watching it. So I did only give this, I think, like a 4-star. Okay, so book 5. I finished this in June also because it only took me like 3 days to read it. It is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. And this is about when each summer begins, Belly leaves her school life behind and escapes to Cousins Beach, the place she has spent every summer of her life. Not only does the beach house mean home away from home, but her favorite people are there. Susanna, her mother's best friend, and her sons Conrad and Jeremiah. Belly has been chasing Conrad for as long as she can remember, and more than anything, she hopes this summer will be different. Despite distractions from a new guy named Cam and lingering looks from Conrad's brother Jeremiah, Belly's heart belongs to Conrad. Will he offer this to her? Will this be the summer that changes everything? This is also a show on Amazon. I also rated this one 5 stars, and it is a YA romance. So those are the 5 books that I read in the first half of 2023. So now I'm gonna start on the ones that I have not said anything about on my channel. So first up, we are going with, it's number 6, which is The Couple Next Door. I started this June 9th, ended it June 20th. I was not a huge fan of this. It is like a fiction thriller, I want to say. And I thought it was going to be really good, and it just was not. I guessed what was going to happen in like the first chapter, at what happened at the end. Of course, no spoilers, but I rated this a 3.5. Anne and Marco Contine seem to have it all: a loving relationship, a wonderful home, and their beautiful baby, Cora. But one night when they are at a dinner party next door, a terrible crime is committed. Suspicion immediately falls on the parents, but the truth is much more complicated. What follows is the nerve-wracking unraveling of a family. Detective Rosbach knows that the panicked couple is hiding something inside the curtained house. Anne and Marco both soon discover that the other is keeping secrets they've kept for years. The shocking truth will leave you breathless. I did not think it left me breathless, so I just think it's a little off from there. So, like I said, I gave it a 3.5. I mean, some people might still like it because, like, the story was kind of good, but it dragged out and dragged out. So that's number 6 for the year. Okay, so number 7 is Last Night by Karen Ellis. I started this June 24th, ended it July 13th. This is also fiction. I did not love it though. I felt like this one dragged out too, so I only gave it a 3 stars. I mean, like, the storyline was kind of intriguing, but it just wasn't as entertaining as I was thinking it would be. The book is about the only thing Titus Crispo and Glennie Dreyfus have in common, besides some friends of friends, is finishing high school on the same day. But the morning after graduation, their parents separately discover them missing. Neither Crisp's twin bed in working-class Brighton Beach nor Glennie's luxurious queen-size in Boream Hill has been slept in. NYPD detectives Lex Cole and Saki Finley, unlikely duo, combine forces when they discover that their missing persons were last seen together. With the right mindset, the right surveillance tools, and a little luck, they might be able to think like the teenagers and reconstruct what happened last night. What Crisp and Lex will both find in the course of the investigation is that what you don't know about your past can still come back to haunt you. Okay, so book number 8 is It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han, which is the second book in the Summer series. I think that's what they call it. So this is another like YA romance. I started this July 13th, ended it July 19th. and this is a 5-star for me. I love the book. I love the series. It is just so lighthearted, such a pretty and beautiful story. I definitely want to read more of Jenny Han's books. Of course, I'm not going to read what's on the back of this one because I do not want any spoilers for you, but I will just say that hands down, I loved it. Okay, so book number 9 is Beyond the Story, which is BTS's biography. I think that's what it's called. And I will just say that I don't really think that I'm a big fan of like reading people's like biographies or anything, but just because I am really into BTS, I did love this book and I did give it a 5 stars. So I started this July 20th, ended it September 7th. It is quite the big book. It says BTS, an acronym for Bangtansoninda, or Beyond the Scene, is a boy band from South Korea that debuted on June 13th, 2013. The members of BTS are RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. They have embraced the world over, transcending nations, races, languages, gender, and generations for their music. Their passionate performances and their close connections to their fans, they are always seeking new ways to repay the love they receive through their music. So like I said, it is very interesting because it also got like a more in-depth of like their lives, their music career, and everything, which I loved. But I would just say if it was probably not BTS, it would have been so boring to me. But I did like how they done it because there's also like little QR codes that you can scan and watch, the little like videos and everything that go with the time frame. Okay, so book number 10 is Surrender by Helen Hart, which is the 6th book in the Steele Brothers series. So this is still going on about the story about Jonah and Melanie. This is, like I said, they are dark mystery and spicy romance. I started this September 7th, ended September 20th. This is a 5-star read. Totally recommend it. No spoilers, but this is probably definitely my favorite series, I would almost say, for the year. Okay, so number 11 is The Mister by E.L. James. If you don't know, E.L. James is the one that wrote 50 Shades of Grey. I have read this book before, but I wanted to read it again because the second one came out, which I want to say there's only going to be 2 books because the way the second one ended. This is an erotic romance. It says, London 2019, life has been easy for Maximum Trevelyan with his good looks, aristocratic connections, and money. He's never had to work and he's rarely slept alone, but all that changes when tragedy strikes. Maximum inherits his family's noble title, wealth, and estates, and all the responsibility that entails. It's a role he's not prepared for and one that he struggles to face. But his biggest challenge is fighting his desire for an unexpected, enigmatic young woman who's recently arrived in England, owning little more than a dangerous and troublesome past. Beautiful and musically gifted, she's an alluring mystery, and Maximum's longing for her deepens into a passion that he's never experienced and dares not name. Just who is Alyssa Damachi, and can Maximum protect her, and what will she do when she learns that he's been hiding secrets of his own? From the heart of London through wild rural Cornwall to the bleak, forbidden beauty of the Balkans, The Mister is a rollercoaster ride of danger and desire that leaves the reader breathless to the very last page. I will say I did love this. I loved it the first time I read it. I loved it the second time I read it. I started this September 21st and ended it October 25th. It did take me a little while. I think I might have had a lot going on then. I'm not quite sure, but it was not really the story itself. I'm also kind of a slow reader normally. This is like the first time I've read this many books in one year. Normally I think I've only like read maybe 2 or 3 at the most. but I did give this a 5 stars. It was a 5-star read. I'm pretty sure I read it for the first time. It was 5 stars for the second time. So book number 12 means it come out and I got it. That's why I read the first one. I read the second one, The Misses, which is a contemporary romance. And of course, this just continues the story of Maximum and Alyssa. And I will say this one is good, but I feel like there was like just some things that dragged out. Maybe there was just some things that was kind of a little unnecessary. Like it just didn't, I feel like there was some parts that could have been just maybe a little different or something. Other than that, I loved it. I just did not love it as good as the first one. So I started reading this October 25th and finished it November 23rd. Again, busy or something like that, or it might have been just because a little bit of this I just could not get myself into it. But I gave this 4.5 stars. Like I said, it's not terrible, just some things could have been different. I'd still recommend you reading both of them because it is a good story. It's beautiful. So book 13 is Postmortem by Patricia Cornwell, which is a mystery, thriller, and crime novel. My friend gifted me this book, and it has like her first 3 in the series because this series has been going since the 90s. Postmortem, the only novel ever to have won the Edgar Creasy, Anthony, and McCavity Awards in 1 year, introduces Chief Medical Examiner Kay Scarpedia, the ultimately death of Dr. Lori Peterson, and the fear that her killer will strike again require Scarpedia to bring to bear her extraordinary skills to solve the murder as she deals with treachery in the medical examiner's office. So it's about a medical examiner, and like it has like a lot of medical examiner talk, which I will say was hard to get into, and I did love the story overall. I started Postmortem November 23rd and ended it December 10th. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I still love the story, of course, so I can't wait to get on to the second book. Book 14. This is the last book that I read of 2023. This is My Fault by Mercedes Ron, which is also a movie on Amazon. And this is very different because most of the time I love books way more than the movies, but this time there is a few things that they added in the movie that was just a little bit better than in the book, but the book is still good and I would still recommend you to read it. The book is about 17-year-old Noah Morgan lives in a quiet, normal life with her mother in Toronto until her mother meets and marries William Leister, a wealthy and enigmatic lawyer from California. Noah finds herself moving to LA, leaving her volleyball team, her best friend, and her boyfriend behind. Upon arrival in her new life of private schools and pool parties, she meets her new brother, Nicholas, a college student and seemingly the typical spoiled rich kid. Noah has no desire to get along with him, especially when she discovers Nick's secret life of clandestine car racing and street fights. Not to mention Noah has her own demons on her tail and doesn't want Nick's nose in any of them. But what the two don't account for is the powerful physical attraction between them, enough to turn their world upside down. Can love conquer the dark side of these LA streets, or will Nick and Noah be swallowed by the dark things between them? This is a young adult novel. I started this December 10th and finished it December 28th. I gave it a 4 stars. Like I said, it's not as good as the movie because I did watch the movie before I read the book. But I still liked the story, and there's also, I think, 3 books. I think it's just going to be 3 books in this series. I loved it. Totally recommend it. Some people might say that it's a little cringy, but most of the time, what book isn't a little cringy? So, alright guys, so that's all the books I read in 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be making, it's a little later than normal, I have a lot going on right now, but I will be making a TBR list video for all the books that I want to read in 2024. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.